Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Lush Life, No
No
Label.
labels.
I'm Michelle.
And there's Alfredo.
I know it's been a while since y'all have heard from us. We have been on a bit of a hiatus.
And I want to say sorry for that. It's mostly my fault. I
Yeah,
was
it's definitely
on
not my fault.
vacation for a while and then I had some work things going on. So I'm very sorry that we've been bad podcast promoters and producers. So forgive us for that.
But we are back today. So thanks for tuning in. We'll jump right into our story of the week for this week. Alfredo.
Yeah, so basically, I've been preparing for some big life changes because I'm planning on switching jobs, and switching jobs also entails moving. So there's a lot of unknown factors kind of coming in the future, in the near future. And it's been making me kind of anxious and restless. And one thing I started doing that I've done on and off, but what I started doing every morning is making a list of things I feel grateful for in my life. And I just write that down in the office when I start the day. And it really has helped me be calm and think about all the things that are already good in my life to kind of calm me down in this sort of um, situation of uncertainty.
That's great. And that actually is a great transition into the main topic that we'll be discussing today, which is sort of taking you guys through a few things that we are both grateful for in our lives. And that is specifically in the spirit of Thanksgiving. And we're actually recording this on the morning of Thanksgiving.
We're procrastinators, though. We should have done this yesterday.
So I hope you enjoy hearing about some things that we are grateful for.
Okay, Michelle, you start.
So, one of the things that I'm really grateful for is the fact that I have been able to have certain opportunities in life that have enabled me and helped me get to the position that I'm in today in terms of my living situation, the job that I have, and just the current life that I live.
Can you be
Alfredo.
more specific?
So I've gotten different opportunities. For example, when I was in school, different scholarships that I've been exposed to that helped me get through school because I did not grow up with money at all. I've gotten opportunities to meet different people who have exposed me to other opportunities or other things that I've never considered in life. So those are just some examples of those types of opportunities that have I've taken those opportunities and worked hard, and now I'm in a place where I am very happy about the way that things have turned out.
Okay, I feel grateful for something kind of similar, and it's something I've written down in the mornings. And I always say to myself, I'm grateful for having all of the tools and the resources that I need to achieve my goals, right? Because obviously it's important to be grateful with where you're at in life and already be content there. But sometimes we say like, I want to buy a house or I want to do this or I want to, whatever thing that you're trying to, I want to go on a trip. And when you think about it, it's like, what's really stopping you? And you can feel grateful to know that, I have everything I need to make those goals a reality. As long as those goals are like realistic and achievable.
Of course, for sure. So the second thing that I'm grateful for, which this might sound a bit petty, I'm grateful that I'm from a culture and a country where people season their food, and that is a staple for every meal that we have. And I personally believe, which may not be true, that if I were from a different culture that didn't season their food, my life would be a little bit sadder.
It would
Food
be
is really
bland.
important to me. Yeah, if I had to eat bland food all the time, I would not be as happy as I am in life.
All right. Well,
It's like
to
when
be
I go out to eat to a restaurant and the food is bland, it makes me sad.
mm,
So I'm
I feel
grateful that I know what seasoning is and that I know how to season my food.
All right, I feel like in my list of things I'm grateful for, I don't even know if I'd want to put this out loud because it makes me sound like a completely
Vain.
narcissistic, vain, superficial person. But I wrote like, I'm grateful that I'm hot. And I know that sounds so horrible, but thanks. Like I got good genetics from my family. So yeah, no. Um, that sounds so I hope people aren't judging me too harshly for saying or thinking that or writing that.
I mean, I think one thing that that sort of shows though is that it's more how you perceive yourself, right? You are secure in the way that you look. And I think that's something that's important, right? It's important for all of us to love ourselves, not only love ourselves in terms of what we can do and all of that and how we how we interact with other people, but also love ourselves physically. So it may sound a bit vain, but I think you can think about it in a more positive sense of just that you love yourself. And I think that's,
Michelle, are you grateful for being hot?
am I grateful for it?
Or do you just like, I know it. I don't
I
think
mean, I know it. I don't, I mean, I guess I'm grateful that I am, but
think about it.
I don't run around talking about that though. I think I just think it for myself. Like I love myself. And I don't know if that's necessarily something to be grateful for or just something that I've also had to work, over time. I haven't always loved myself. So I guess I
No,
am grateful
true. And
now that I love
in
myself.
university, we were really frumpy and like
Okay,
awkward.
we were not frumpy. We were still hot in a way.
We were kind of awkward and stuff.
We were awkward, that's true. But no, I will say that I am grateful that I have learned to really love myself to the fullest. That is for sure.
All right, anything else you're grateful for?
Yes, one thing that I'm grateful for is the people in my life. There are many people in my life that I'm grateful for. I'm not going to list them off, but I would say for certain, a lot of or really like the friends that I have, I'm super grateful for them. I think we have supported each other over the years. We've laughed together, we've cried together, we've really been through a lot together. And when I really think about the things in my life, the people in my life are one of the main things that I always come back to.
No, I definitely feel the same way. And you think about friends, family, right? Even coworkers that have been good to you recently.
You're grateful for your coworkers?
Yeah, I actually am.
Wow. Must be
Not
nice.
all, not for all, for some of them. But I think it is good to think about that because you can kind of focus on what's lacking in your life and then you see
Mhm.
what's already there.
Exactly. And obviously for Thanksgiving, typically, you're supposed to come together with your friends, family. Maybe some people are spending the holiday by themselves. And I think that sometimes it is good for us to sit back and think about the things that we are grateful for, especially if we're in a slump. It can really help us see that there are some good things in life, because sometimes I do think we get into situations or there are difficult times where we lose sight of some of these more positive things in life when it just seems like all of the negativity is clouding our entire life.
That's true. And I think that's a good point, especially now that the holidays are coming, Thanksgiving, Christmas. Because I think, in mainstream culture, pop culture, it's like, oh, it's a happy time, be with your family, and everything's great. And I don't think that's the reality for everybody. A lot of people have like complicated relationships with their families. And I've heard about this, like read about this, that there's a lot of stress, financial problems, mental health issues when the holidays approach because people there's pressure to buy gifts.
Pressure to be with
Um,
people that maybe you don't want to be around.
yeah, exactly. And it can be stressful for people. But I think what you're saying, my point is, it's good to think about maybe even if it's not your family, to just think about the great people that you have in your life that don't have to be your family, that make you feel good.
Yes, exactly. So is there anything else that you are grateful for?
Oh, definitely. And I write this down in my morning lists is I have financial stability because I've spent many times in my life where I didn't have that, where I just spending money would be stressful for me and, living really just day to day And you think, even though when you know being so broke that you stress about spending money on food, and now I don't have to live that way. And it's funny because you get used to that, right? You get used to having a comfortable life and being able to just put things on a credit card and not worry about it. But, you know, maybe a year or two ago, literally you were in a complete opposite situation where you were like worried about buying food at the supermarket. So
Mm,
that's something I always try to feel grateful about. Like, you know, like I don't really have financial, I'd obviously would like to have more money, but I don't have I can live a comfortable life as things are right now.
yeah, for sure. I think financial stability is something that a lot of people in this country and the world are struggling with and have been struggling with, especially post COVID. So I think that is certainly something to be grateful for, because there are many people who are not in a position to have that right now.
No, it's probably gotten worse for a lot of people. So I
Yeah.
do think about that a lot.
Yeah. So I think when we think about being grateful, it's important for me personally to recognize the things that I am grateful for, but also recognize the privilege that I have in the position that I'm in as well. So I'm grateful for that as well.
Has that ever happened to you that you have to check yourself though and be like, you're frustrated with your life as it is now, and you have to be like, wait, like five
Someone,
years
other people
ago
have
or
worth. Yeah,
three
of
years
course.
ago, I was struggling, and now I would love to be where I'm at right now.
Yeah, exactly. Because I'm just newly into my current position and situation. And so for me, I've definitely gone through periods of years of financial instability. And I do think it's important to check ourselves over time, because yeah, you don't want to, start being vain or forget and think that like your life is reflective of everyone else's life, which is why I think writing down some of these things is important, just to put things into perspective at times as well.
No, it's funny because I do support these kind of mindfulness quotes and stuff, but sometimes like that you could, but sometimes, you know, it's a little bit like, oh, on Pinterest, on Instagram, people
Mhm.
post these things, and I feel a little bit like critical of that. But I did see one recently that said, like, remember when you wanted what you currently have. And I think that's like a really like powerful thing to think about
Mhm.
because, you know, I'm sure you could be like, "Ugh, my life is this way, I want this, I want that, this isn't going the way I want it." But, you know, 10 years ago, I would have like loved to have the life that I have right now. So
Yeah, of course. But it's good to hear some of the things that you are grateful for, especially on this holiday season.
and
Um,
the last thing that we want to say that we're grateful for is
our listeners,
yes.
definitely grateful for those of you who continue to listen to this podcast and tell your friends about it. I actually want to read a review that we got from one of our listeners that I really appreciated. This is a 5-star review that we got. And so this is what it says. Just finished the first episode and felt as though I was talking with friends over dinner. I also loved that Alfredo and Michelle left some space for internal reflections with the closing question. Looking forward to the rest of the series. So thank you to this listener for your rating and for your review.
Support.
I encourage other listeners to provide reviews to us. We also encourage you to email us with any questions, comments, or other ideas
For
of
ideas, for topics.
that you'd like for us to talk about. Obviously, if you're already connected to us on social media or you have our phone numbers, feel free to just text us or let us know more directly.
And in the same vein of being grateful for the people in your life, with this podcast, actually, I've been surprised at the amount of people that I wasn't expecting have told me, like, oh, I listened to it and I like this. And hearing that support is really nice. And
Yeah,
I do feel
sure.
very grateful for that.
Yes, for sure. So definitely keep tuning in. We will be back to a more
Regular.
regular schedule.
Yes.
I'll leave y'all hanging. But as we sort of finish out this episode, we just wanted to make it short and sweet. But I definitely encourage you, whether you're with friends, family, or by yourself today on the holiday, definitely eat a lot. You know, enjoy your day today. And we certainly we want to leave you with just not necessarily a question, but really think about and write down sort of what we did today. Think about 3 things that you are grateful for in your life.
And it doesn't, it can be from really serious, profound things to like little things. Like I'm grateful for my mom. I'm grateful for avocados or really anything.
Are you grateful for avocados?
I'm not that into avocado. Like I like them, but I'm not.
Alfredo, the avocado toast people are gonna cancel you.
Well, that they can't buy a house because they're just wasting all their
They're
money
just
on
wasting.
avocados.
Yeah, if they save money by from buying avocado toast, they'll afford a house. Oh my goodness. In this country, especially millennials, none of us can afford a house. So if I had a rich parent, I would be grateful for them because then I would be able to afford a house.
You don't have to worry about it. You
I
can buy
wouldn't have to worry about it.
avocados if
Yeah.
you want.
But
All right. Well, thank you to all our listeners.
yes, thank you guys. And I hope you enjoy your Thanksgiving today.
Bye bye.
We'll see you next time.
See you next week. We'll be better.
Yes.